The weather's going to kill you. Something's going on in the world that's terrible. There's horrible things that happen all of the time, and people yell and scream and proclaim and put stuff on social media and the media and everything we're given on a day-to-day basis. We're bombarded with stuff. Well, how do we know that it's true? And should we be asking questions? And it seems to be that we live in a world where you're not allowed to ask questions, but I don't care anymore because I'm an old lady. So, and I'll give you a simple example. Today there's snow on the mountain, and it's a little bit unusual because it's not winter time. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world now about climate, and a lot of people get very upset about climate. And if you talk about the climate in any other way than what's given to you on social media or the media, you are labelled as something. You might be called a climate denier, for example. But I'm old enough to remember when we were told that we were going to freeze. If we keep doing whatever we're doing to the planet, we're coming into an ice age and we're going to freeze. And by this time, everything will be frozen over. I've also lived on the planet long enough to know that there have been too many times, even in the last 20, 30, 40 years, where we've been told that all the islands will be underwater and all the high-rise buildings on the Gold Coast in Australia will be covered by the ocean because the climate's changing and the oceans are rising. I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong. I just think we should ask more questions, don't you? Because I asked this question. I breathe in oxygen, I breathe out carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is taken up by the plants, and plants grow better with more carbon dioxide. So we live in a world where carbon's bad, and we want to be carbon zero or net zero. But what about the trees, the plants? They need carbon dioxide. And that's not, I'm not here to argue about climate change. I just think that we should be asking more questions. And we don't teach our kids to ask questions either. You should take this medication. You should use this supplementation. You should do this style of exercise. You should do this with your money. And there's so much information that we're bombarded with every single day. And if you ask questions about, and this is the fun thing about asking questions though, I can ask somebody a question and they don't have an answer because they're just regurgitating their opinion that's not really somebody else's opinion. So they don't have any science or facts to back it up. And then there's that big thing about science. What is the truth? What is a scientific study? What does that actually mean? And I've lived again on the planet for too long. I can find a scientific study to back up everything or anything that I want because the experts disagree on everything. So why am I asking the question? Because I would love for our kids to not just believe what they're told on social media. I would love our kids to think for themselves and be critical thinkers. And I'm not even a parent, so I can't imagine where you're at if you are a parent. Surely you don't want your kids to get their information from a social media influencer that's been paid a lot of money to influence your children to buy that product or live their life a certain way, or listen to this music or wear these shoes or say that saying. I'm not a parent, but I would love kids to be thinking for themselves, have a set of core values and standards that they would never compromise because they're strong, powerful kids of character. I would like our kids to be able to analyse and research something that you should eat this. Well, why should I? What's it got in it? And what that stuff that's in it, what will that do to my body? I've lived in the exercise profession all of my life where we get thrown stuff every single day, and I just laugh because the first thing I always ask people, do you know your anatomy and physiology? Have you studied your anatomy and physiology? Because if you have, you'll be able to research and analyse those ridiculous claims for yourself. Now, the people that make the claims, do they think they're ridiculous? I'm not sure, and it doesn't matter. Surely, please, we just want to work it out for ourselves. So when somebody says to me, how do I get healthy, fit and strong? Or should I believe this expert, or should I listen to that social media influencer, or should I read that book? No. Learn your anatomy and physiology. Learn what your body's made of and how it works so that you can work it out for yourself. Common sense and logic apparently are not very common, and logic, I don't know where that's gone because so many things that people do don't seem very logical. And you can live your life however you want to, of course. But all I know that's true is that the sun will set and tomorrow will come up. And after that, I want to question everything. I don't want to be the person that just follows and listens and believes because everybody else does. I want to be the person that thinks for myself. I want to be a critical thinker, and I don't want to be led down some stupid garden path and believe some rubbish that could wreck my life or my body or my energy and my enthusiasm for life because I listen to somebody else's opinion. What about you? How about enjoy every single day and question everything, because that makes life even more fun. So you can live your life to the max. Super-duper-doo. How you? Living my life to the max. Woo!